Got it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome everyone to our Wednesday night midweek oasis. It's Wednesday, December 15th here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And we're very, very happy that we have so many wonderful people joining us tonight. We welcome you if you're the first time visitor. And we're grateful that you're here. I need to pull something up really quick. It disappeared. Here it is. So hello, church family. And what is Wednesday night service? We call it the Oasis, a place where we can be together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. We present our Wednesday nights in what we call our version, the OCSL version of satsang style, where we invite a speaker to speak on a topic for about 20 minutes, and then we open it up for discussion. We also have prayer, and we have offerings, and we have announcements. We have a lot going on. It's a way to stay connected in between Wednesdays. Our intention is that this gathering be informal, intimate, and rich. That's how it's designed, so that's how it will be. What did they say back in Moses's day? And so is it written, as so is it's done, right? Or something to that. So speaking of writing, what is our theme for the year? It's timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And our monthly theme is the journey for becoming. And that has been going on Sundays and Wednesdays, and we're in the middle of the month. So our speaker tonight will continue on that theme. But first, I want to welcome anybody that's new for the first time or the second time or maybe the fifth time. It might take multiple times for your newness to wear off, but you're always welcome, and we're glad that you're here. If you'd like to stay further connected with us, please check out our website where you came in tonight to join the Zoom call. And in the lower left-hand corner, if you'd like to receive an email of the events that are coming up in the week and how you can attend those both in person and digitally, that's in our Village News newsletter, and you can sign up for that on the homepage. We're also asking that if you're not speaking and you're just enjoying watching, please mute your camera and your microphone, because that will improve the quality of the transmission. And stay tuned. It's a special time of year. There's lots of activities going on here at the center as we transition our calling in for a new senior minister. So we have a lot of announcements of importance at the end of the program. Not a lot of announcements, just important announcements, every one of them. And I think we have lesser tonight, so I won't torture you so much with them. So please stay tuned. There's announcements regarding our holiday festivities, and I want to make sure that you hear them. So who is our speaker tonight? Well, it's Practitioner Muro, and he's got many, many hats here. He has a very array in his closets of hats on the shelf. He's vice president of our board of directors. That's a lofty and wonderful and honorable high service that he performs. He's also lead presenter for our comm group that meets on the first Sunday of every month. He also hosts a Thursday night small group to review the weekly readings. And he also acts as our volunteer coordinator, as well as he's pretty much behind the scenes at Sunday and on Wednesdays doing a lot of background work with me. So I'm grateful that he's come forward to speak tonight. He brings a lot for us. And his theme tonight that he'll be speaking on is the gift of a new journey. So with that in mind, Zoe, we normally open with prayer if you would like to do it or have a designate for it, and then we'll move into your delivery.
Thank you, Paul. All right, let's take a breath, folks. Just take a moment to go within and just take whatever has come before this time and just let it sit quietly. As we take in the breath of life, we're reminded that all life is within God. The life that we have here on earth, the life that preceded it, the life that follows it, it's all within God. The God who not only creates, but sustains. The God who not only is wisdom personified, but is love personified. And how glorious it is to know that we come together in that presence. How glorious it is to know that the God within speaks to us, providing so much in the way of grace, in the way of wisdom, in the way of support, in the way of illuminating our steps and providing at all times, under all circumstances, so that we have within us all that we need to be successful in this thing that we call life. There is nothing that is ever withheld from us. And God's bounty knows no bounds. It is a blessing, and it is blessing that I want to say here and now. I want to speak of how each and every one of us is blessed. Blessed to be a part of God, blessed to be with each other's company, blessed to have the day to make the most of. This moment is sacred. It is sacred because of who and whose we are. And we are blessed because of who and whose we are. And more so, we are blessed to be in one another's company. And I give thanks for that. I give thanks for each and every person who is here. I give thanks for each and every person who will hear this at any time. And I hold in mind those who have undergone tremendous challenges and know that we hold them all in our hearts. And that the love and the wisdom of God shines in us and through us and as us and out into the world. How grateful and how thankful I am to know that. And I release my word to the law and to the love of God. And so it is. Well, folks, as Paul said, tonight's topic is the gift of a new journey. Now, as we've moved through this month, I've been thinking about the various journeys I've taken in my lifetime. And I don't mean car trips or plane rides. I mean the various paths I've taken to get to where I am now in my life and, well, to get to who I am now. You've likely heard the expression a voyage of self-discovery. And that is what this really is about for me, self-discovery. It's originally going to specifically talk about the spiritual journey. But I found that the more I thought about it, a spiritual journey is a journey of self-discovery. So they're really one and the same. Maybe it starts with the small s self. That is understanding who I am as a human being. But there is no reason to separate that from the big S. Got to watch the enunciation here. The big S, divine self. Because as long as we are in this realm, in this existence, our humanity is as much a part of who we are as our divinity is. And for those of you who have taken courses in our philosophy, think about how often the discussions revolve around how you relate to and therefore experience the world. How we take divine principles into our human lives. We talk about our existence in the only way we can, using concepts and perspectives that our human minds can grasp. It's what we have to work with. And I believe this is key. I believe this is exactly what we need to do as spiritual beings. We need to understand who and whose we are. You've likely heard this quote, usually attributed to the philosopher Desjardins. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Well, think about this. God is all there is. I submit that we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience because nothing exists outside of God. It just happens to be that we're experiencing it here in this realm, in this human existence, which had to have come from the one source of all anyway, loving spirit. So for me, this new journey is an opportunity to explore, to examine, to understand, to learn, and to grow into my greatest yet to be. Now, our topic specifically mentions that the new journey is a gift. I've got to be honest, there are definitely times that journeys that I've been on have felt far from being gifts. Although I have to say that each has been integral to my becoming more fulfilled in my life, as well as in my ministry. I'm thinking about things like my journey from being an abused child, a victim, to being a functioning and capable adult who is thriving, not merely surviving. Or my journey from being a down and out drunk and addict, no great way to say that, to being able to live a life with dignity and respect. And let's be real about this, to actually simply to be alive, to live. Well, my journey from being so lost, so depressed, and so very, very willing to throw my life away, to being able to thank loving spirit for the promise of each new day that I'm given. I'm going to be looking at a number of authors who have said some pretty spectacular things. Some of it's kind of lengthy. So if there's something that you've heard that you want to go back over, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to send you the text. But now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Where was I? Oh, yes. Okay. Marianne Williamson wrote that it takes courage to endure the sharp pains of self-discovery, rather than choose to take the dull pain of unconsciousness that would last the rest of our lives. So you might wonder, is the pain really worth it? I'm a good person. I follow the teachings of this philosophy, or whatever philosophy or moral code applies to you. Do I really need to go through this journey of discovery? I'm doing fine most of the time. Let me give you some perspectives on this. See if any of this resonates with you. The first is from the author and co-founder of the Omega Institute, Elizabeth Lesser. And she wrote this: "It is the height of arrogance to prescribe a moral code or health regime or spiritual practice as an amulet to keep things from falling apart. Things do fall apart. It is in their nature to do so. When we try to protect ourselves from the inevitability of change, we're not listening to the soul. We are listening to our fear of life and death, our lack of faith, our smaller ego's will to prevail. To listen to your soul is to stop fighting with life, to stop fighting when things fall apart, when they don't go our way, when we get sick, when we are betrayed or mistreated or misunderstood. To listen to the soul is to slow down, to feel deeply, to see ourselves clearly, to surrender to discomfort and uncertainty, and to wait. Second one is from Jane Goodall, brilliant zoologist and author. She wrote, "You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. You have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." And one more. This is from Marianne Radmacher. In her book, Lean Forward into Your Life, in this chapter called Curiosity Takes Courage, she wrote, "You lean forward, not because you know, but because you want to find out. You lean forward into your life, not because it's safe to do so, but because you have found it intolerable to remain still, unmoving from the same place." Now, I can't speak for you, but I know for myself, without a doubt, I knew I needed to be more than I was. But I want to explain myself here. This is important. Matter of fact, it's absolutely crucial. If you get nothing else from tonight's talk, I hope you hold on to this one thing. This journey is not really about becoming when you get right down to it. It's about being. Or to put it another way, it's about finding the clarity to see who and whose you truly are, who and whose you already are. You see, no matter where you are on your journey, no matter what the focus or intent may be, what we're ultimately looking for is our true self. And that's capital T, true self. That journey of discovery. Now, this is where some speakers will tell you it's like peeling the layers of an onion. I have a different take on that. I know that's a big surprise. But I want you to take a look at this video. Peter, if you will.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Hello, folks. Welcome to Cafe de Muro. I'm Chef Zoe. I spoke about using the onion to describe how you can do a voyage of self-discovery. We peel the layers of the onion. Well, I've been here in the kitchen peeling layers of this onion, and what I discovered was, as I peel the layers of the onion, all I get is more onion. So if I were to peel this all the way down to the bottom, I would wind up with, well, nothing. There'd be nothing left. That's not a great example of a voyage of self-discovery. So I suggest an artichoke. Yes, an artichoke. First time this has been used to describe somebody's spirituality or their spiritual journey. So tough on the outside, barbs, things like leather with spikes. Kind of like what we need or think we need to exist in this world, to protect ourselves, to wrap ourselves with ideas and stories and concepts and conditions and circumstances that do not describe who we are within. Here's what we find. We find that this exterior, which was so difficult, so tough, perhaps protection, perhaps not. But what it has inside is a delicateness, a sweetness, a softness, something that is desirable, tasty. There's a great word to describe yourself, tasty. And we get in a little bit deeper, and we actually find a part called the choke, which is not exactly something you'd want to eat because, as its name implies, It could be dangerous. You could choke. But when you consider going inside, getting past these stories that we have believed over the years, and getting in to understand who we are, we do indeed at times find that there are more things inside that are preventing us from the sweetness that life can provide. We finally get through to the heart. In an artichoke, the heart is, without a doubt, the prize. It is the tastiest, the most succulent, the most interesting in a human being. Maybe we're talking about our divinity. Because at the heart of who we are, at the heart of our identity, our truth is that we are in fact of and from and in God. That is our heart, our soul. So, good luck on your journey. I'm having artichokes for supper. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. All right, folks, hold on to your artichokes. We're getting ready to set out on this new journey. We have a destination, so to speak, understanding our true nature, which will allow us to live as fully as possible. But we need to map out a route. In her book, Rising Strong, magnificent book, strongly recommend it, Brene Brown lays out what she calls the Rising Strong process. And she describes it in this way. She says, this process teaches us how to own our own stories of falling down, screwing up, and facing hurt so that we can integrate those stories into our lives and write daring new endings. She goes on to say, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. She defines 3 steps to the process: the reckoning, the rumble, and the revolution. Here is a very brief explanation. The reckoning is where you recognize that something is pulling at you and is outpicturing in your life in ways that are not allowing for your greatest good. Connecting to that underlying cause, the often hidden or ignored or subconsciously buried source, is a significant step in what I like to call uprooting the weeds. Uprooting the weeds of distress, of false beliefs, and anxiety. Next step is the rumble. The rumble is where, looking at the stories we've been telling ourselves and those we've heard from others and have made a part of our own identity, this is where we choose to revisit, challenge, and reality check these narratives. I love that term rumble for this, because that's what it can be like. It ain't necessarily pretty, and it definitely requires work. But this is where we get a true understanding of where our feelings, our thoughts, and our behaviors come from. This journey is definitely not a sprint. It's much more a marathon. Or if you prefer a different non-sports related analogy, how about this is where we get to dance in the mystery. For me, that dance in the mystery often feels a lot like a mosh pit. But that challenging, reassessing, realigning allows for the real work of change. It allows for progress to truly begin, which leads us to the revolution. As much as the rumble is unlikely to be a quick fix, one and done, so to speak, we can in fact see tremendous change in our lives, far more than a revolution than an evolution. Right? Far more a revolution than an evolution. For myself, I can look back on the first 60 years or so of my life with all its trials and tribulations and then changes I've been able to bring about as I come into a greater alignment with our divine self. And it's like, that's only been in the past 11 years or so. Tremendous, tremendous change, despite all of those years of anxiety. And the really funny thing about this self-centric process is that it benefits not only the individual, but it benefits our families, our affiliations, our communities. Recall Jane Goodall's words again. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. You have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. In the words of our vision and mission statement, we are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. And so it is. Thank you.
A breathing moment and a moment of appreciation. Shall we show our appreciation either in chat or turning on your camera and showing a clap, or use the clap symbol to let Zoe look at the gallery and see how much we appreciate what he said. Wow, you packed a lot into 20 minutes. Thank you, sir. Look at all those clap, all that clap. You have a standing ovation, pretty much. A virtual standing ovation. Yeah, Peter's doing it. Thank you, Peter. I'm not going to stand up because my pants don't match my shirt. Okay.
Oh, you're wearing pants? Oh, cool.
I know it's a Wednesday. But with that in mind, we're going to move into a little bit of sharing. Here comes the part of the satsang where if you have a question or want to comment or even show your appreciation to Zoe or ask a question around what he was talking about, if you could turn on your camera and raise your hand like this, or you can use your reaction button down at the bottom. And when you click that, it'll raise the hand like it just did for me. There you go. And if you're interested in bringing up, I see you, Zoe. I'll recognize you in a moment. To get everything in order, because that's my TS. That's my true self. I have to get it in order myself, right? Get the word out. And Peter's going to be our moderator for recognition. So thank you, Peter, as always. So if you're interested, who would like to begin?
I do, because I want to suggest that with all the different things that I spoke about in there, I'm very curious to hear where you are in your journeys, or what your journey is, or your journeys are, or anything along those lines, right? This is more about what you think than what I think. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first thing I'm going to say, Zoe, is the avocado thing. No, I prefer avocados, but I'm going to check into that thing you had a little bit deeper. I think you have just replaced the onion completely going forward. And somebody said it in chat about how brilliant that idea was. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so who's interested in chatting? Raise your hand and here we go.
Eileen, go ahead.
Well, Zoe, thank you so much for that talk. I always find you incredibly inspirational, but that was truly, you outdid yourself. I just love the presentation. And the thing that really sticks with me is our reactions have an effect on everything outside of us. And that's something that I've learned and recognized more and more the longer I'm, at OCSL and I work with these teachings. And it makes a very big difference because I really, I stop and think a whole lot more than I ever did about things I say and things I do, and what is going to be the effect out in the world. And I think it's made a big difference in my life. So anyway, I just thank you, and I really, really appreciate your talk and having you in my life.
Thank you. Likewise. Christopher?
Hey, well, I got a different take on the onion and the artichoke. The onion has been used throughout time as a really very valid explanation. Is when you unveil, you start to see the layers of your illusion. You start to see the layers of who you think you are. And when you get to the very bottom, you see that you are not only none of that, what's left is pure awareness. There's no me left. There's no Christopher left. In fact, when I have my most brilliant moments, they're not my moments. They're moments when Christopher disappears as the center of the onion. And what's left is what they're pointing to in the artichoke. But the artichoke is still something. There's an identity there with the artichoke. With the onion, it's complete. There's nothing there. So Rajneesh used to say, he said, that love and you cannot remain at the same time. There's either love or there's the me. Now you can have all kinds of attachments, you can have all kinds of confusion and passion, but that's not love. Love is that acceptance, that giving awareness. And so that comes from that place of no me. And so when he says, if you're really looking for your core, who am I? Not even who I belong to. I mean, I have no idea what that means. But who am I? If I look and close my eyes, I immediately see nothing. I see a void. I see the infinite of what's behind you in your background, so which is so gorgeous. I see the elegance of all of eternity. And when we close our eyes, and we can do it, and whenever we look to see who we are, we close our eyes and we look and we find nothing, and we think that's not it. How could that be it? And so we continue looking for some answer that really sort of makes us feel comfortable. So I think I've said plenty, but that's where my curiosity has led me so far. And thank you for bringing those up.
Thank you, Christopher. And welcome to Vegetable Wars 2021.
Right on. I like that.
Oh, God. Well,
Judith.
I want to talk about the artichoke because there was something very sweet in my life when I was raising my daughter and living with my friend Joan and her son Adam, and the kids were little. And it was just a sweet thing. The four of us had an artichoke, and it became my great pleasure to peel it down and go through the leaves and the sticky, the ouch part when you actually stuck yourself on one of those sharp points, and to come to the end and to pull away the choke, and then to give half of it each to one child, something completely unexpected for them, that they didn't, something they got the sweetness, the heart, They got this lovely ending extra without having to go through anything to get it. And it just, I see it as, it was a real thing, but it feels like an unexpected place where I was given an opportunity to give joy to little beings without just, there was no suffering involved, there was no challenge. It was just something unexpected for them. And I don't know what they think about it now. They're 50 and 49. So I have no idea if they remember when they were little that their mom or their aunt gave them her heart when we would eat artichokes. And I just like the name of the artichoke because there is a heart that feels, and everything that you said about it. I love the idea that we can have in this vegetable war, come to the end point and find our heart. Anyway, that's the way I'm feeling about it right now. Thank you for such a wonderful way of talking about that.
Thank you, Dr. Judith. Sabrina?
Serena, yeah.
Hello, thank you, Zoe. You know, that artichoke, that really moved me, because when I think of spirit, when I feel spirit, I go right to my heart. That's exactly where I go. And I just think about all the things I keep hearing in this teaching that, I don't need to add anything. I need to just peel things away. And peeling things away and getting to the heart of it, getting to where spirit lives in my body. That's what I was feeling when you were demonstrating with the artichoke. And thank you so much for that. And I also really resonated with listening to my soul is to stop fighting.
Mm.
To stop fighting when things fall apart, because they do fall apart all the time and come back together and fall apart and come back together.
Mhm.
And listening to my soul during that time could be a lot less painful by just surrendering and waiting and listening, actually listening to what my soul is speaking. So thank you for that. And hallelujah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Sabrina.
And I just want to say your Thursday groups, the Thursday meetings are just absolutely phenomenal when we talk about the readings. And by the time I hit Sunday, I'm ready. I'm ready because we've already discussed the readings, and we talk about how, just what you were saying, how it impacts my life and how that impacts the people around me. And that's so important. So thank you for everything that you brought in this wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Sabrina. What makes that Thursday night group magnificent is the Thursday night group. All right. It is the collection of minds and hearts that is so phenomenal. Thank you.
So I'm going to add to the vegetable war. I had a whole different take on the onion all these years. I didn't know I was getting down to nothing. You spoke about part of the process of self-discovery. I think it was in the Brene Brown part, I think, where you talked about the shake, rattle, and roll is what I'm calling it. I put it in chat, the reckoning, the rumbling, and the revolution.
Mhm.
And I was told that that process, is sometimes painful. These evolutionary things, or these revealing things you find out about yourself that you didn't, when you're going through that process and looking at yourself and realizing, oh, that story is not only a story, but it's a lie. And then you got to go through the process of releasing it. And that can be painful. And then they would say, it's like peeling the onion, shedding and peeling it away. The more you peel, the more you cry. That's how that was my exposure to using the onion metaphorically. That's the right word to describe that process as we peel away the layers. Sometimes you're going to cry as you go. I just thought I'd share that. I'm opening up the war to anybody else for the vegetable war. Thank you.
Hi, Maureen, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. So I'm in what you're talking about right now. I'm peeling and I'm crying, and I'm peeling and I'm crying, and I'm surrendering. And it's so, I feel the love. I feel all your hearts opening to me. Thank you. I love this community. Really, I have no words. I can feel all the love. Thank you. I'm overwhelmed with all the love. Whew.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen.
Judith?
I have one more thing that I'm thinking about onions, which is that when you're at a fresh layer of onion, that's when that inspires the most tears. So if I'm at a fresh point where I'm just beginning to have peeled something away, and there's a revelation that I can look at and absorb. And then if you have an onion where that layer is not being peeled, it's just staying there, it kind of gets old and stale. It no longer is inspiring tears. It doesn't inspire tears again until I become willing to take off a new layer and to go deeper. So I like that. In real life, I don't like that. But as a concept and what it's doing with me metaphysically and metaphorically, I like it. So the artichoke, just to say, I used to live in the area behind Castroville years and years ago. It was called, Castroville called itself the Artichoke Center of the world. And I did call it the Artichoke Heart of the world. And I love it. I don't know what else. I would like to hear if anybody has any other idea of something that we take it apart, we use it up. In any case, we get down to the heart. In my studies, the heart of the matter. Yeah. I would like more vegetables into this war.
Thank you,
I was talking, thank you, Judith. I was talking to a friend of mine before, and she said, if you're going to do that video, you better do it at the end, because that's all anybody's going to talk about is the vegetables. I said, no, there's all this other good stuff. She said, You'll see. Dorothy?
Dorothy, yeah.
So your friend is absolutely right. I will never look at an onion or an artichoke the same way ever again. Now I know why I chop that damn onion up before and not peel it. And I cut off those pricklies on that artichoke because it is too delicious to deal with that, with all that prickly stuff. But I want to thank you for your presentation and let you know I will never look at an artichoke and an onion the same way again. But thank you for a wonderful evening. You're awesome.
Now, I sincerely hope that when you see the onion or you see the artichoke, that you're thinking about something about your spiritual development, something about your identity, something about your journey,
Right.
not simply the vegetables. Well, if you want to talk vegetables, let me know, but not here.
I'm feeling like the message is whether it's an avocado, which
That's
also you,
good.
what,
Avocado, where'd the avocado come
well,
from?
wait a minute, I was throwing that new vegetable into the mix.
Oh, I see. I see.
Whether it's an avocado or the artichoke or an onion, really the heart of the message tonight is the gift of the new journey. Regardless of what you do, it's all about taking the journey,
Right.
right? That's the gift. And hopefully it'll be unprickly, and hopefully you won't cry as you go. Maybe you'll be an avocado and get right to it right fast. And then it's guacamole for everybody. Anyways, that's my closing thought on this, unless anybody has a burning share.
Oh, no, it's just me, Zoe.
Oh, Bonnie, go girl.
Hey, Bonnie.
I was just gonna make you laugh. So when I saw you with your chef outfit and you're ready, I said, oh, this is like an episode of Chopped. You just chop away. Boom, boom. And now I am. So thank you. That was just wonderful, wonderful, Zoe. Hats
Thank you,
off.
Bunny.
Chopped.
It's a great presentation. This will be fun to watch. So Zoe, again, thank you a million from the bottom of all of our hearts for presenting tonight, giving us an idea, sticking to our theme for the month and the theme for the week, the gift of a new journey, and our theme of the journey up for becoming or for being. I really like that twist. Thank you for doing that. That was an avocado moment. Okay, real fast and quick. So thank you for all that. I do have some, I believe, announcements are next. So I'm hoping you'll stay with us for that, because we will be reading the minister's covenant as part of the announcements. But let me tell you who's coming to town to bless us and provide more messages and add to the vegetable war for the month. On Sunday, December 19th, practitioner and ministerial student Teresa Gardner will be speaking on the gift of a new journey. So join us physically and in person in the sanctuary, or watch the service live on live stream or YouTube that's coming Sunday. In-person meditation is at 10 a.m. and then the service starts at 10:30. Please know that if you're joining us in person, everyone is required to wear a mask inside all of our buildings, and we will be practicing social distancing. Next Wednesday, December 22nd, practitioner Constance Chapman's topic will be the light of a new day, and she will lead us in one of our traditions, a winter solstice ritual. So off to the holidays we go with OCSL events. Meditation at 6:30 and service at 7 p.m. Our Wednesday services are continuing in Zoom. Last chance, another tradition for holiday shopping. This Sunday is the last shopping day at the bookstore before Christmas. 30% off holiday items, Hanukkah, Christmas, Festival of Lights, Kwanzaa, and New Year. We'll see you at the bookstore. Also, due to limited space, only 3 customers will be allowed in at the bookstore at a time, and masks are required. But come anyway, stand in line. It's worth it. Where else are you going to get 30% off for Christmas presents, right? The candle lighting service will take place on Friday, December 24th at 7 p.m. Join us for a sacred evening of reading, song, and light in our sanctuary, or you can join us by live stream and YouTube. There will be light refreshments afterwards in the social hall. It's Board of Trustee application time. Have you been a member in good standing for 2 years and have been thinking about serving the village in a new way? The nominations committee is looking for qualified candidates to run for the Board of Trustees at the annual meeting on March 4th. Applications are due to Deborah Jackson by December 31st. To check out the qualifications and responsibilities, download the application on the homepage of the website from the Village News or pick up a copy on Sunday. It's teen camp time. Centers for Spiritual Living teen camp leaders are excited to announce our virtual Winter Camp 2022. This virtual event is happening January 14th to January 16th, 2022, with the theme Make Room to Bloom. Today is the last day to register. For the link and information, please go to our events page on the website. Now, save the date. The Vision Board Party, another event around the holidays. It's the #1 event of the whole year. It's the largest attended, and it's a great event. The Vision Board Party will be held Saturday, January 15th, 2022, both in person and by Zoom. This will be a hybrid event. Only 30 people will be able to meet in person in the social hall, so the rest will be able to join us in Zoom. Registration for this event, this holiday event, will open Sunday, December 26th. So watch for that. We'll be announcing it some more. So I'm glad you stayed with us because we're going to read our covenant letter at this time. So I'm going to ask you to follow along, leave your microphones off as we both mentally and digitally read our covenant letter. My new minister sacred covenant prayer. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. I'm knowing that I am one with this life that is God. I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to reveal spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by Spirit. For it is written, I am filled with divine wisdom. I allow divine mind to fill my mind now. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unity in the community. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspiring unity in diversity, embracing and nourishing our community. I am awakening the wisdom within. I am healing and expanding our community with the power of love. I am engaging the community in building a world that works for everyone. I am deepening family consciousness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that illumines spirit and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious. And so it is. Ashe. So I breathe in and let that, I call it a letter, but that prayer, that covenant, that agreement, we're sending out the notice to the universe of what we desire. And in doing so, we're grateful in its return answer. And so is with our offering tonight. We will remember that as we give, a gift I give is God in action. It does good work in the world and blesses creation. So hold that gift, whatever it may be, time, treasure, or talent, and hold that close to your heart, and then put it towards the Zoom box, knowing that I'm passing the plate along, collecting your gift and receiving it. And we know that when we give, it returns in multiple ways to us, for us, as us, through us. I am blessed and I am grateful for everything I receive and everything I'm able to give. One way you can give is financially, and that you can do on the website where everything else lives. You can use the donate button for a credit card donation, or you can mail a check or cash to 5000 Clearwood Drive at the address. Or if you're younger and understand how to do it, you can text an amount at 510-327-3431. We also have the Zelle service to handle a donation at giving@oaklandcsl.org. And lastly, but not leastly, we have donation baskets at church on Sunday. If you'd like to drop off your gift in person, you can do it there. Join us for Sunday service if you can. So with that in mind, it's time for us to draw to a close. And speaking of closing, Zoe, I'm going to ask you to close us in prayer.
All right. All right, folks, let's take a breath. Tonight we spoke about journeys of self-discovery, journeys that always begin with God and always return to God. I didn't say end, I said return, because our journey is an eternal one. The journey of self-discovery here in our human self is just one part of who we are. It's glorious, it's magnificent, but it's only a part. Each of us belongs to the other. Each of us is part of that unity, is part of that entity we call God. And the God that creates us, who sets us on our individual paths, is always guiding us, always shining its love, its light, its grace, its wisdom upon each and every one of our steps, whether they're here on earth or beyond. And I know without a doubt that we are blessed each and every step. And I know without a doubt that there are no missteps. No matter how crooked the road may seem to our earthly eyes, to the divine, it is straight, it is clear, it is uncluttered, it is unencumbered. And my wish for each of us tonight, for each person who hears this at any time, for those who are outside of this, my hope is that they can allow that grace, that love into their hearts, into their lives, and that they can nourish themselves through that exquisite grace of God. And know that we are here to take this journey, whatever it may look like. No one journey is better or worse than another. They're all from within us, and therefore they're all from within God. I give thanks for all that we have been given, and I bless each of us on our way as we go back to our evenings, knowing that we are blessed with God's grace and God's love. And so it is.
And so it is.